phones right now. Talk about some other stuff that's going on around the NFL, particularly in Buffalo, with new head coach Rex Ryan making moves, 2 huge moves in the last 24 hours. And to talk about them, let's check in with Jay Skursky of the Buffalo News. Hey, Jay, how are you?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Doing great. So, all right, looks like you got a new quarterback, Matt Cassel, and looks like you got one hell of a new running back in LeSean McCoy. Let's talk about the McCoy move first. You got him from the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. Probably C.J. Spiller going bye-bye. Fred Jackson, we still don't know because he's had health issues. But LeSean McCoy, I mean, 2 years ago, led the NFL in rushing. Last year, I think, was 3rd in the NFL in rushing. Is Buffalo like throwing a parade over this right now?
Well, you know, it's interesting because Kiko Alonso, the player that they traded, excuse me, LeSean McCoy for, was really a fan favorite here. Even though he didn't play last season, he was hurt, tore an ACL before training camp, but fans really loved him. So they're actually kind of torn a little bit on this deal, surprisingly enough, because, you know, you'd think getting a guy like LeSean McCoy, you would throw a parade, but that's how much fans loved Kiko Alonso, and I think there is a little bit of trepidation about McCoy and the fact that he came off kind of a down year, at least in terms of, you know, his expectations last year, and the fact that he is a little bit older at a position that doesn't age well at running back. So I think there's certainly a segment of the fan base that is very, very excited about this deal, excited about what LeSean McCoy can bring. But then there's a sort of a vocal, I wouldn't even call them a minority. There's a vocal segment of the Bills fan base who isn't thrilled about this trade, quite frankly.
Jay, we should tell everybody that Kiko Alonso played for Chip Kelly at Oregon. That's probably the main reason he wanted Kiko Alonso. And also, Chip Kelly really doesn't value running backs all that much. He values quarterbacks and he values offensive line, and he sees running backs as pretty much disposable parts. But the Bills have a problem at quarterback, even with the acquisition of Matt Cassel. They had E.J. Manuel there. And it is my guess is, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that because they have a problem at quarterback, Rex Ryan wanted and badly needed a running back who can make an impact. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're trying to build a team that's centered around having a dominant defense and a strong running game. And last year, the running game was supposed to be a strength of the offense, the strength of the offense, really. And it just never happened. C.J. Spiller was hurt. Fred Jackson was kind of banged up. He's getting a little bit older. And they just weren't able to get the production out of the running game that they thought that they were going to, and that they really need to with this offense, because as you said, there's no franchise quarterback on the roster. So their best bet is to build a team that's really good at running the ball. And LeSean McCoy has shown over the last couple of years that he's very durable. He's got the most carries in the NFL over that time. He's highly productive, as we've talked about. He's led the NFL in rushing over the past 5 seasons. So he's a guy that Rex Ryan thinks they can give the ball to 25 or 30 times a week, and he can produce for them. And, you know, I think the key now when free agency gets here and the draft is they're going to look toward building that offensive line as well. They've added a veteran quarterback. They may add even another one when free agency starts or when the draft starts. But they've got to get better along the offensive line up front to really try and turn this into, as we talked about there, a strong rushing attack.
Jay, this is Troy Rank with the Denver Post. I cover the Broncos, and in following the NFL, is Matt Cassel going to then be given an opportunity to compete for the starting job against E.J. Manuel? And also the reports that have come out that LeSean McCoy, or at least some of the people close to him, are saying he's not particularly happy about this deal and he's not going to make it easy.
Well, he's going to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay.
Is there going to be some money going to have to exchange, some maybe some more upfront money to appease him? I mean, the last thing you would want in Rex Ryan's first year is an unhappy centerpiece player, and LeSean McCoy's had some issues with coaching in the past. He and Chip Kelly butted heads at times. So would there be some type of contract issue do you anticipate with McCoy, and will it be an open competition with he and E.J. Manuel?
Yeah, to answer the question about the quarterbacks first, absolutely it's going to be an open competition. I think they're going to come in and may the best man win. I don't think E.J. Manuel has any leg up in this competition whatsoever with a new coaching staff coming in. So it'll be Cassel or Manuel, or maybe even, like I said earlier, they might bring in somebody else to add to that competition. So I think that's wide open. And then in regards to McCoy and his perceived unhappiness about the deal, you know, I can understand it a little bit. He's going from one of the best offenses in the league in an offense that he's been tremendously productive in to Buffalo. And let's face it, I'm from here. I've lived here my entire life. I love it here. But I can understand how a professional athlete who hasn't spent a lot of time here would look at the Bills as a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 15 years, in a cold, snowy climate, and say, boy, that probably wouldn't be my first choice as a place to go. However, they have a chance to rectify that. One, as you mentioned, they can rework his contract, give him a little bit more money up front. He only has $1 million guaranteed over the last 3 years on his contract. So certainly that's going to be something that they'll want to adjust. If they can do that and give him more guaranteed money, I think that'll make him happy. And then the other thing is Rex Ryan is a good salesman. I think Rex Ryan is going to be able to win over LeSean McCoy and explain to him what an opportunity he's got here in Buffalo. I think those two things the Bills are banking on, that will make him happy enough and want to come here.
Jay, did Buffalo just get hit by an earthquake?
Sorry. No, I had to move my phone real quick.
I know, we figured. We figured. Hey, the Rex Ryan signing as the head coach, has this lifted Buffalo's spirits at all? He is a character.
Absolutely, yeah. People are really excited, and it's interesting. McCoy kind of fits into the same boat. I mean, these are marquee names in the NFL, the kind that really hadn't come to Buffalo in quite a long time. And it started with Rex Ryan back in January. I mean, he was probably the most marquee, most noteworthy option at head coach. And for the Bills to go out and get him, I think was signified to their team's fans that the new ownership under Terry and Kim Pagula is not going to spare any expense in building what they think is going to be a winner, or how they think is the best way to go about building a winner. And that's why people are thrilled with it, And he's a media friendly guy. He's got a larger than life personality. I think that's appealed to people as well. So yeah, absolutely, they're on board, and especially when you compare against the guy that he's replacing in Doug Marrone, who did himself no favors really with the media or with fans here in 2 years. I think people are absolutely thrilled with Rex Ryan.
Yeah, that was a weird deal. I mean, a head coach with time left on his contract in the NFL,
just
walking away.
In talking to people at the combine, Marrone overplayed his hand. He thought something was going to be there that wasn't. You never leave an NFL job without, like Fox, unless you have another NFL job.
You don't do that in real life. You don't leave your job unless you have another job waiting.
They say they spared the ownership is sparing no expense. Did they pay to customize Rex's truck with the Bills logo?
I don't know about that, but I'm sure he got a pretty nice deal. Whatever the detailing place that did it is getting a lot of publicity, so I'm sure they're happy to have the business.
Jay, really happy that you came on with us. Appreciate it, to talk about LeSean McCoy and Matt Cassel, and we'll be checking in with you once we get closer to football season, all right?
Anytime. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, that's Jay Skursky on Skype with the Sports Show.